that's applying. And these projects can be now multi-year, so they can be across 3 years. That's also a really significant change. And mostly that's because once upon a time, if I was making an artwork, I put in one grant application and I had to do that, and then I had to acquit it. And then when I decided I wanted to exhibit that artwork as a public presentation, I'd put in another application, I'd have to present it and I'd have to acquit it. Now I would be able to package both of those two parts of my creative process in one application. It makes it much easier for the artist and the organisations applying. It's one application in that process, not two applications. Does that make sense? Great. So I said I was going to touch on due dates. All of this information is on our website as well, so you can scroll down there and see it all. According to my notes, we used to have roughly 300 grant rounds closing on 66 days of the year. I know, it was a really busy little 4 stories here. However, this streamlined process, which now means for each of those days is the first Tuesday of each month in March, June, September or December. That's all the dates you have to remember now. So rather than before you might have applied to dance and you had to remember their due dates, and then you might have applied for us in community partnerships and you had to remember our due dates, this is every due date. So you can see fellowships close in June, individual and group development grants close 4 times a year, arts projects for individuals and groups and for organisations close 4 times a year. The 6-year funding is a 2-part process. Part 1 is closing in March, Part 2 closing in September. And then there are the 4 government initiatives that all have various closing dates but have been sort of all synced in the right time. Feedback from the Australia Council review highlighted that more flexibility needed to be offered to artists and arts organisations in terms of application timing and the opportunities to apply. Across Council there are many categories with only 1 or 2 closing dates per year. So even in my area in community partnerships, if you missed out on the last grant round, you might have to wait 6 to 12 months before that grant category became available again. That doesn't really suit many artists, organisations or communities.